Man, to be honest, I didn't want to do this full review because every time I do these full reviews, man, y'all don't watch it, bro. I guess somebody watching them, if it gets 20, 30 views, that's fine, I guess. I'm doing it for somebody who driving to work, getting off on their lunch break. I'm gonna give y'all some content, okay? I'm gonna give y'all some content. So we're gonna talk about Night of Champions, the complete WWE Night of Champions 2025 results. And first up, we got Cody and Randy for the King of the Ring final. And we all know Cody Rhodes took this victory home. Now, this match was a slow match, and I'm going to say it was okay. But in this match, clearly shows Randy Orton is turning heel. Him not being a full heel cost him this match. Randy was going to kick him. He was going to punt kick him, but he decides not to. But, Cody was trying to work the back of Randy Orton. And basically, like I said, Randy took the turnbuckle off. He took that patent off. And crazily, Cody saw that. And, Cody threw Randy into that turnbuckle. But this is the part I don't like. He didn't run into it with his back. He ran into it with his ribs. Like the side rib. And, Cody hit him with that crossroads and he won. But, just to go deeper into this match, Randy Orton hit the RKO like twice on Cody. I'm starting to be sick of these finishing moves, being used as like regular moves now. It's how many people kicking out of, 2 RKOs. And, Cody hit 2 Cody cutters on Randy, and, Randy kicking out of all that stuff, man. I mean, this was a possible dream match. I just want to get that out there. This was a possible dream match. But I honestly think we're going to get Randy Orton and Cody one more time. And the reason being, this match was 2 faces fighting each other. We're going to get heel Randy Orton versus babyface Cody. Trust me, it's going to happen again. We just going to let Randy Orton go to the Shadow Realm for a little bit. And he's going to come back heelish. A lot of people thinking Roman returning at SummerSlam and he's going to screw Seth Rollins of cashing in the Money in the Bank. Maybe so. It's possible, but I'm wondering if, Randy Orton going to do something to cost Cody. Because we know John Cena's keeping that title past SummerSlam. They're already doing promotional material for John Cena in Per. So that's it. But just to give a little more context in this match, I think this match was a C plus. Or even a C, not no C plus. It was a C match only because I think they were trying to not give us a really, really, really great match because they're going to have something down the line. Trust me. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep yawning, but I mean, this match, I'm remembering, like it was kind of a snore fest. It wasn't, it was the opening match for a reason. Because every other match was better than this, honestly. But, Cody Rhodes got that victory. And he's going to fight Cena at SummerSlam. So, let's move over to Rhea Ripley and Raquel in this street fight. This was actually a good match. This was a good match. For everybody that knows the history, if you know the history of this match, or not this match, but the history between Rhea and Raquel, this match felt special to you. Now, the problem here was the build-up. Sorry, y'all, I keep yawning. But the build-up to this match wasn't fully there because this was kind of a thrown together match because I think Liv got hurt. And Rhea and Raquel have chemistry. They all was in NXT together, and this is why it's so important to be wrestling constantly, because they could hone in their skills and trust each other. There's no doubt in my mind that Rhea and Raquel trust each other to the max with their bodies. That's why this match was great. And even though we had the interference from Roxanne Perez, she's a great talent as well, up and coming. But man, this match was fire. Honestly, I'm going to give this match, I don't want to get, what? I'll go ahead and actually give this match an A. This was an A+ match. It didn't have to have color. No one had to bleed. Overall, it was a street fight match. Like, can I get mad at this match? No. Like, I honestly can't get mad at this match. We didn't have, like I said, that build up, but man, Roxanne's got Rhea stuck between the ropes, and I mean, she just kept wailing in her with the kendo stick. We haven't seen anyone get wound up in the ropes like that in a while, unless it was a botch, But Rhea got out of it when she tried to hit her with the chair. Got out of that. And then Rhea also did the Razor's Edge, which was fire. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, like, I'm getting, brain fog on this match. But, Rhea was getting the best. Because, like, the first part of this match, Raquel was, dominating Rhea, which was crazy. It just showed, like, hey, Rhea, you're not the only big woman and big, strong woman in this match. And Rhea started to come back really good. And that's when Roxanne had to interfere, but Rhea got over that too. Put the trash can on her, hit her with the knee. That was fire. And I ain't gonna lie, all the outfits was fire too. You can't argue with that. That was fire too. But honestly, she hit the riptide off the table that was on the top rope to give them more balance. I love the way they used physics in this match too. A lot of people don't do that. They really put their minds in this match. That's why I don't understand how people was hating on this match. Like, how you gonna hate on this match? This match was an A+ match. Get out your feelings. Rhea and Raquel have history. Honestly, like I said, if they would have maybe had a few more weeks of build up, it would have took this over the edge. But I'm going to give it an A+, bruh. I'm going to give it an A+. Like, man, when you was watching this match, you had your mind, your eyes glued to the screen the whole time, bro. So, you know, Rhea, she won, she got over, and we gonna wait to see what's happened next. You know, maybe we not gonna see Rhea and Raquel for a while, you know, depending on if they got something for them, you know. Shout out to Liv Morgan, you know, hopefully she get a fast recovery. But next we had Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. Y'all asked for Karrion Kross, and now y'all hate Karrion Kross. Honestly, I wish Karrion Kross would have won this match, but Sami Zayn obviously had to win. Honestly, Sami Zayn to me didn't. You know, I would have had Karrion Kross win, and Sami Zayn still would have looked great, even if he would have lost, because he was in Saudi. But, you know, Karrion Kross, you know, he spiked Zayn with the, I'm probably saying this wrong, with the Sato suplex. You know, Sami Zayn was like discombobulated after that. Kross hit another Doomsday suplex. Sami Zayn still, like, you know, was fighting through the pain and stuff. And then he hit a Blue Thunder Bomb, which Blue Thunder Bomb is a cool move. You know, Sami Zayn kept trying to do the kick that he do. What is it? Hell of a kick or something like that? I'm probably saying that wrong. But he keeps trying to do the shit and it's not working. And honestly, it's like this match was slower than usual. But, you know, Kross, they do that spot that they always do with Sami Zayn. You know, you do like a clothesline in the corner and then you run to the other corner, and then Sami Zayn hit him with the hell of a kick, and that was the pin. 1, 2, 3. I didn't like that. I feel like, dude, you have to put Karrion Kross down some other way, bruh. You know, I just feel like, man, is that the way we gonna you know, in Karrion Kross's not in his reign, you know, of course, but just that's how we're ending this feud, you know, with a kick. Like, basically all I'm saying is I just felt like it looked weak. You know, they should have did a little more. Karrion Kross was looking like he was a threat. But now, if you had to really put Karrion Kross's overall, like his overall rating, you know, he's almost like lower mid card, bruh. Like, you lost that match like a lower mid card. You know, I was always thinking, you know, Karrion Kross was on a Carmelo Hayes, maybe LA Knight, maybe not LA Knight's level, but, you know, he was that mid card. You know, that mid card trying to come up. You know, and maybe he was a mid card guy that could easily get pushed to upper mid card. But after this, he got the shot on Night of Champions. I don't think it went over with the Saudi fans great, but Karrion Kross has a hell of an entrance. You know, he has a hell of an entrance. They could do some stuff with him. And just to go on a slight little rant, you know, Karrion Kross, you know, Shinsuke, Aleister Black, you know, some of these guys that you're not just using all the time, you can use them. You know, you have people like that you can do matches with, not these same 15 guys you use on Raw all the time. You know, open your eyes, WWE. But next, you know, before we go next, I'm gonna just rate this match. It's a C. This match is a C. It's a C. It wasn't horrible, but it was a C. Nothing in this match was really better than the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton match. I mean, it could have literally been the same match. You know, some people might say that's wild, that's crazy, but honestly, Randy Orton and Cody could have been better. I expected this from Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. You know, honestly, I wanted to see a little bit more out of Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross, but we got what we got. You know, next, probably some could argue this was the best match of the night. Solo versus Jacob. And I'ma just say this. I was shocked that we didn't get this for... I thought we was going to get this at SummerSlam and then WrestleMania. But I was like, this shit going to be on Night of Champions, you know. But Night of Champions was fire. So, hell, this made it fire. You know, we had Solo versus Jacob. And was it Solo versus Jacob? Was it really Solo versus Jacob? Or was this Solo versus Bloodline 3.0? This was Bloodline 3.0 versus Jacob. The crazy part is Jacob held his own. Jacob held his own until I want to say this is the Tongan's brother. I don't know if it's cousin, man. I'm gonna have to do some research on it. Okay, so I'm probably saying this guy's name wrong, but I think it's Hakulio or Hakulio or something like that. You know, Jacob was beating up Solo. I'm sorry. Jacob was whooping Solo's ass like the whole match, you know. Then you had JC Mateo come out, whoop his ass. Then you had Tamatanga, or who it was, Tangaloa. Tangaloa came out and returned. And man, I don't know what his move is, you know, but you know, it was almost like some like DDT type shit off the top rope, and you would think that was a 3. But dude, it wasn't. Jacob kicked out of that, but then you had Hakulio come out and he beat up Jacob. And I mean, it was just too much, man. It's like 4 versus 1, man. And then, you know, he Fatu, we just gonna talk about this. He hit JC Solo. He had JC and Tangaloa with like this. It's not a senton. It was like some corkscrew move out the ring on him, and I'm like, damn, Jacob, bro, like you going ham. But then, you know, the icing on the cake was the new guy, Hakulu, whatever, hit this man with a choke slam on the announce table, bro. Like that was kind of the end of it. But then, you know, he threw him in. Solo still had to hit him with the spike and stuff to get the win. You know, Jacob is like a unstoppable Samoan werewolf. You know, that it took the whole new bloodline to defeat Jacob, bro. You know, that's why it's like, there's no way LA Knight and all of these other guys would have beat Jacob. It took the bloodline to come out. But where's Jimmy? Where was Jimmy Uso? Somebody like, oh, Jimmy wasn't there. He wasn't there. Jimmy was on SmackDown the night before. He obviously was there. Why didn't Jimmy come out and help Jacob? Does Jimmy have to come help Jacob? No, he doesn't. He get in where he fit in, but if you were Jimmy, would you help him? My answer would be yes. You know, Solo, in my opinion, is the best to do it with the bloodline. You know, he conquer stuff when he could just have followers that listen. The problem is like, you want to stop Solo before he gets too powerful. Like, his power needs to be checked. You know, he's not just... Solo isn't just gonna have a faction and get him to the top like Judgment Day. You know, they're not just gonna not even fight fair. Like, they want to leave destruction. You know, Judgment Day isn't going around and just beating up everybody who disagrees with them. You know, Solo ain't taking no BS from nobody, and he's gonna, you know, you either get with it or get ran over, pretty much. Now Jacob has to fight that. Now, can Jimmy and Jacob, just them, stop the new bloodline? If you got Jacob Fatu, you probably could, but you know, Jimmy could handle Tangaloa. That's about it. You know, and the new guy, you know, his father is Haku. You know, I'm pretty, like, I honestly, this guy's been wrestling. I don't know nothing about him. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know nothing about him. I'm gonna have to do my research and see exactly, you know, his highlights and stuff. I don't know nothing about him. I kind of don't want to do that either, because I kind of just want to see what his WWE run to be like. But supposedly he's a big problem, and I think he is. He's gonna be a big problem. I like the way the storyline's going, but honestly, I want Jacob versus Solo again, WrestleMania, not SummerSlam. Sorry about that. Want it on SummerSlam, and I'm gonna give this match an A. This match is an A. The reason it's an A, story is an A. This was long-term storytelling, and it has the potential for more, and the match was good. You know, no boring stops in this match. No boring stops. Giving this match an A. Next, Jade Cargill and Asuka for Queen of the Ring. I would almost give this an A just for their entrances, bro, and their ring gear. Like, bro, Jade had the best ring gear of 2025, and honestly, I want to thank Bianca, because Jade did throw this hint out there a long time ago, saying that, you know, Bianca was trying to get her into like the cosplay stuff. And she was like, look, that's y'all thing. I don't want to do that. You know, I don't think Jade not really into that stuff. But look what happened when she took a chance on it. You know, it worked out right. She came out, you know, cosplaying as Storm. And man, people thought this was going to be a botch fest, bruh. And I knew with Asuka in that match, you know, if you get Asuka and Bayley in a match, honestly, Io Sky as well, if you get those three in a match with you, you will be taken care of. You're going to be taken care of. And Asuka walked with Jade through that whole match. Go watch it. Go watch it back. Asuka made sure, you know, Jade went over in a good way. And they did good. This is probably Jade's best match since she's been in WWE. You know, they had a with Lash Legend and old girl that got released. They had a okay match, you know, but this was the best match Jade had, and it was a good match. Honestly, I wanted Asuka to do, I don't want to say more, but I wanted to see that missed. You know, this match was purely wrestling, and it showed Jade's power. Even though Jade is already bigger than Asuka, we already know that, but just some certain things she was doing that showed off her strength. You know, Asuka getting out the Asuka lock and all that stuff. You know, when Asuka tried to do that, we gonna call it the Asuka, the ass kiss up. You know, that running into your face with her ass. You know, Jade some kind of way like caught that. I don't even know how she did that. Like, she caught it and hit her with the Jaded for the 3. And it was fine. You know, I want to give, this match a B. Because it was a B. Because they could have done, a little more. But, I mean, we looking at Jade and Asuka. Just for this being an iconic moment for Jade, and it was a dream match of hers, and the way Asuka and Jade was selling stuff together, I'm giving this match an A. I gotta give these matches an A, because this wasn't better. I mean, Becky and Lyra wasn't better than this. You know, Lyra's whole thing, her run wasn't better than this. The matches Asuka had on Raw wasn't better than this. Asuka versus Stephanie wasn't better than this. It's that Night of Champions. I mean, this was actually a Night of Champions great match. I mean, Night of Champions pay-per-view is elevated after this pay-per-view in Saudi. And honestly, we probably just got it because it was in Saudi. Everything about this match, from the entrances to the ring gear to how the choreographed the match was, they weren't run-ins. It was fine. I'm giving it an A. Was it better than like Jacob and Solo? Hell no. But this was a good women's match. I'm giving it an A. And last but not least, John Cena and CM Punk. What can I say? This was an A+ match. A lot of people are angry with the run-ins. I'm not upset with the run-ins, but how does John Cena beat CM Punk? From the looks of it, nobody could beat CM Punk. If you really look at the past year, CM Punk kicks out of everything. I don't think Stone Cold could come back and hit CM Punk with 3 stunners. CM Punk's kicking out. Man, CM Punk right now can probably kick out of 3 tombstones from The Undertaker. Off the Hell in a Cell. Like, you can probably throw CM Punk off the Hell in a Cell. He could miss the announce table, hit the floor, and he would still kick out. What did CM Punk not kick out, dude? Like, CM Punk hit John Cena with the go to sleep, twice? It's like you have to have the run-ins for John Cena to beat CM Punk. But just look at this. Cena, that part when Cena, he went for that super FU, right? Punk got out of it. Cena overpowered him, hit him with a FU, and CM Punk kicked out of it, bro. Like John Cena looking pissed off, bro. And John Cena played this role, like he gonna turn face. He was gonna hit him with the belt or whatever, but he wasn't gonna hit him with the belt. Hit him with the go to sleep, boom. But Cena knocked out the referee some kind of way, like with the shoulder block or something. So I think it was on purpose. I honestly think Cena did that on purpose, just so they couldn't be a count. I mean, and that's not John Cena first time hitting the referee doing that. But Seth Rollins comes out with his crew. This is why you need a crew. Okay? Comes out with the crew. They fighting, blah, 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 blah. You know, when Seth Rollins called for the referee, I don't know this referee name by heart, but he's the referee that had the meme the last time, that runs full speed. This guy ran full speed to the ring, and John Cena stick him like this was 05 Madden for the 360. Destroyed the referee. Like, that's gonna be the newest meme footage for the next year. You know, honestly, Braun Breaker's spear on Carlito is like the #1 highlight probably of 2025. This is second. This is second only to that. And honestly, IShow's Speed getting speared at the Royal Rumble is like a big highlight, but this is a close second, bruh. This is a close second. But, bruh, Cena had to do that. He had to knock out that referee. Seth got pissed. You know, tried to hit Cena with the briefcase or whatever. Cena FU'd him or whatever. And then, also, I'm going to get this out the way because it happened, but Penta showed his behind up there. And I got to keep reminding myself, Penta is not a mid-card jobber dude. When Penta got signed to WWE, like, we really need to put respect on Penta's name. Penta is upper mid-card, but he's really supposed to be signed as championship main event material. He really is. He's supposed to be in this Rey Mysterio type figure, you know, but the way WWE treats their Mexican talent, bro, like, I mean, we had Sin Cara, you know, like, they don't book them right, you know, and I mean, the fans already loved Penta, so you should have put Penta in the main event card earlier on, but now him doing this kind of stuff, it's that they're ruining Penta's momentum kind of with this feud, that he just has to be in, you know, Braun Breaker's and them business, and he's feuding with Chad Gable. I mean, Chad Gable should be in this main event type level. You have other wrestlers you can use to fill up the mid card, but you're not using them right. Like, we should be getting Penta, Chad Gable, Seth Rollins, like, all of these guys should be, you know, main event card. Like, Chad Gable and American Made should be facing off against, you know, Seth and his faction. Like, hey, you're not the only guy with your faction, you know, but they're ruining it. But Penta does some dive and knocks Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker out, and we get rid of them. Cena and Punk, they hug it out, thinking like, hey, you know, we gonna take on Seth and his faction or whatever. Cena tries to betray him, gets hit with the go to sleep. Rollins hit CM Punk with the briefcase and then hit the stomp. So now we're going to get Seth and CM Punk for the 1 millionth time. Oh my goodness. Please, we don't want to see that again. Please stop giving us CM Punk versus Seth. We do not care. You have other wrestlers. You have other talent. Use them, please. We do not want to see Seth versus Punk again. Like, why? Why are they doing this? I don't know. But Cena took that opportunity to pin CM Punk and retain the title. Yes, this was an A+ match. Everything about this was A+. it was a little slower just because of their ages. But you know, when CM Punk did that little AJ Lee submission move and stuff, you know, John Cena picking up Bronson Reed, picking him up and giving him a FU, just shows John Cena still got that strength. But bruh, like, I hate with this setup. I do not want to watch Raw and have to see CM Punk and Seth Rollins feuding again, bruh. Where's Roman? You know, please throw Roman in this mix, because that's the only thing that's going to save us from this Seth and CM Punk thing again, bruh. Like, bruh, I'm telling you, nobody wants to see that again. But if I really had to guess, it seems like we're gonna get Punk, we're gonna get Sami Zayn, we're gonna get Penta, and either LA Knight or Roman versus Seth, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and one more person. I don't know who that one more person is, but hopefully this isn't gonna be the War Games match. You know, great match, 5-star match. It's just, what the hell are they setting up after this, bro? You know, but overall, Night of Champions was a phenomenal PLE. It was a phenomenal PLE. You know, when I looked at this match card, I didn't really have too much faith in it, honestly, because we know WWE gives us a lot of dog water, poo-poo, doo-doo. You know, and like I say, Orton and Cody could have gave us a better match, but I think they're saving it. They're saving it for when Randy turns fully heel. I think we also had a lot of other superstars that did not want to go to Saudi because of that Iran and Israel stuff. But for what we got on this card, it was fine. This was not a mid pay-per-view at all. And honestly, SmackDown felt like it was like a pre-show, because I wouldn't have mind seeing Julia and Zelina Vega fight at Night of Champions. But if they would have fought at Night of Champions, they would have had to go way harder than what they went like on SmackDown. And maybe creative, you know, realized that. Maybe they realized, look, Zelina Vega and Julia not gonna fit in with what we got planned at Night of Champions. Now, if it was Julia versus Stephanie Valkyrie, that would have been a Night of Champions match. That match they had on NXT for that title was fire. But for what we got at Night of Champions and what SmackDown did the night before, I kind of could see SmackDown being that like pre-show. You know, Night of Champions, I give Night of Champions a B+. The only reason I'm not giving it an A is because the Sami Zayn match and Cody and Orton were C's. If every match would have been a B to an A, I would have gave this pay-per-view an A+. But I gotta give it a B just because of those two matches fell short. But overall, man, it's Night of Champions was good. We gon' see what Raw plays out with. You know, put your predictions of what y'all think SummerSlam gonna be like. I really want to know what y'all think SummerSlam holds, because I have no clue what SummerSlam gonna hold. And godly, this video is going on 40 minutes. It's time for me to shut the hell up. Put y'all thoughts in the comment section, bro.